Okay, so it started. Hello, good afternoon from Bucharest. My name is Octav. There in the back, you can see Ana Maria, my colleague. Together, we've organized the first edition of the Week of Sound, La Semaine du Son, here in Bucharest. And that was in March. And now we're presenting a live listening session of field recordings done by locals, people we know. Mostly field recording being a practice that is not that common. We're hoping to be able to make it more popular through events like these, like we've done in the past. We usually call them Sambata Sonora, and there are listening sessions about different themes that have to do with sound art and contemporary music, and from time to time field recordings. And let me show you a bit the location. We're on a terrace that's on the board of a lake here, and we thought they have a good enough sound system. And so we got everybody to submit us a few pieces that were then that will be soon played. And if I may, I'm just gonna come back here a bit to her, and I'll try and translate some of the. Okay, so one of the pieces would be by Cezar Stăncilescu. He's a musician playing in a group called Roa. And well, it's a long translation. But anyways, most of field recordings that are done here in Romania are done among a very small circle of people that have gotten hold of good field recorders, but outside any kind of let's say circle of publication. There aren't any labels doing it, and there aren't any sound art radio shows or anything like that. But with the beginning of this Week of Sound, we've been able to present first a sound installation on 8 speakers, each of them corresponding to a different sound source that were manipulated on a table. So objects were displayed on a table, and each object, if it was moved around by hand on that table, was directing one of the sounds on these 8 speakers to travel in space, let's say. And this was the idea to sort of propose to people to mix their own city soundscape based on 8 field recordings. And for this occasion, we also were able to convince the art journal in Romania to do a special dossier about sound art. I have a copy right here, and it says sort of sound art on it. And on this publication, we even enlisted the help of Colin Black, who wrote an article about transmission art and radio art, and also had an article about sonic landscapes written by the best-known ethnomusicologist here, Speranța Rădulescu, who was talking about how she never really did field recording, even though she spent all her life going in small communities and recording folk songs. And several times, well, she says in the article that once she was recording somebody singing a song and thinking, because she was listening with the other ear, how the village sounded and how everything was coming into place so beautifully in that village, that she probably shouldn't have held the recorder towards that woman, but rather toward the village and get that soundscape. But otherwise, she never considered recording soundscapes in her field studies. And hopefully that is going to change for the autumn. We also have another project to do radio documentaries based on field recordings. A number of local people, and they would be hosted on a podcast platform. This as well, with the help of a grant we got from the Ministry of Culture here to do this. And with this, I think we would probably be able to reach a few more people, and maybe even convince the national radio to remake some documentaries with sounds that are actually recorded outside the studios. The radio here has gotten, let's say, much more studio than like could happen in many other places, I suppose. And in the coming months, we will be working on these documentaries. There are four. One of them will deal with a natural park that appeared and was declared a reserve. It's an abandoned construction site that was overgrown with weeds and where all sorts of birds come and nest. And another one will be about the railway station. One more about the markets in the public markets in Bucharest, and another one about a type of scavengers, scrap metal collectors, mostly Roma people, which have a peculiar type of cry. They shout when they walk the streets that they collect iron, and their shout is it's almost a landmark of the city in these I guess years after the fall of communism when so much changed. I'll allow some of the sounds to yes. Excuse me, I hope there won't be a broom sound. Okay, so plug my headphone. Hello. Sorry, I saw the question. The potential of broadcasting field recordings. I wouldn't say I have a personal perspective on it. I'm more interested in being able to see what kind of field recordings can be produced here and what type of momentum this interest in collecting sound can get in local musicians and other people interested in sounds. I wouldn't be surprised that a certain trend can develop and that special, how can I say, well, special traits could be discerned in time somehow. Defining trait or an identity mark of some kind is often defining the collectors. So yeah, there is an interest in seeing that getting developed, and there's an interest in getting more and more support for that kind of thing from I guess from local art institutions, which haven't had the occasion until now to have too many proposals to fund to help any kind of activities that do with sound art in general. Sound installations, for example, are not that common. They become more common this year on the contemporary art scene. I'll go and see the other question. I saw the message. Okay. What can I say about the possibility for community building through field recording? Well, first and foremost, the community that would get built is the artistic community. In sociological terms, other artists are always the first public of an artist. So with the Week of Sound, we've been interested through different conferences in addressing, I guess, sound pollution or other issues that have to do with health. Anyways, societal issues, how they're called. And I suppose that nuisances can create certain communities, people that don't want one or another. And sound is probably just coming into focus. It's in a civilizational development, an issue that hasn't really been addressed until now. I think cities in Romania and Bucharest itself, it's a very noisy city where nobody has really considered the decibel level of activities in residential areas. So that kind of community, yes. And of course, the artistic community. No, thank you so much for, again, the message I'm reading here. Thank you so much for having us. I'm glad that we were able to participate in this and looking forward to seeing more of your activities too. Bye-bye from Bucharest.